Well, this past week we dealt with, in our relationship goals series, we dealt with a challenging, difficult, uncomfortable topic, the topic of secrets. And what I taught you that I hope you remember, and I hope you just remember not just for this week, but ongoing, is that secrets bind anxiety. If the sin that we committed is what created the anxiety, the secret is the wrapper that packages it up, seals it so that it can't get out. The secret is what puts a lid on the bucket that's holding the anxiety so the anxiety can't escape. So secrets bind anxiety. They create an atmosphere where anxiety cannot be released, which is why I say that, especially over time, the power of the secret is not in the content of the secret, however bad you think it is, but in the fact that you have one. And your relationships, the important relationships in your life, will never be completely right as long as there's a secret. Now, secrets don't all have to be earth-shattering, things, offenses that you've committed to someone. Of course, there are secrets like affairs and secrets like the squandering of opportunities and getting bad grades that you don't tell your parents for months to come. And, there's big time secrets. And then there are secrets that can be, I've just been thinking about, but I haven't wanted to tell you, or I've had these thoughts, or they can be smaller. In any event, secrets still bind anxiety in relationships and in family systems. So I want to tell you two stories about the distance between how I learned about secrets and their power. When our church first started many years ago, we had a staff member kind of go off the rails early on. And in the name of confidentiality, I walked on the platform one Sunday morning and I said, this staff member that you've been seeing every week is not going to be here anymore. I can't tell you anything else about that. And let's just move on. I didn't know, I hadn't been taught about this. I hadn't studied family systems. I didn't understand secrets and their power. But what I did in that moment was create a secret. I did it for a noble reason, and often when we create secrets, we do it in the name of a noble cause. I want to protect you, want to protect the person, whatever. But when we create a secret, it's hurtful. So what I did when I walked on the platform and said, this staff member that you know and love is not going to be here anymore, and I can't tell you anything else about it, I created a secret. And what I did was I created an atmosphere where people had to make up a story, or maybe they didn't have to, but you know that that's what happens. They're going to make the story up. And they fabricated stories of all kinds, most of which were completely untrue about this person, or about me, or about our church, or about all of the above. The fact that there was something I knew and a few of us knew that everybody else didn't know created an atmosphere of anxiety in the family system until it ran rampant, until I had to deal with it, and it hurt us. Now, fast forward many years later to this past January. If you've been around for more than a few months, you know we also had a staff member this past January kind of go off the rails. This time, I walked on the platform on a Sunday morning, and I just told the story. There was no secret. I didn't hold anything back. With this staff member's wife's permission, I just told it all. And there was no place for people to make up a story because I already told them the story. There was no secret. And in that way, we were able to deal with the pain of what happened because we all knew what happened. And yes, there was anxiety that was created by the sin, but the anxiety had an opportunity to be released because I didn't create a secret. Do you see the difference? It's a huge, important lesson to learn. Now, I did get a couple of people get really upset with me because they didn't want me to tell all that. And with all due respect, what I said to them was, I don't do secrets. I'm not going to do secrets. And I appreciate that some people, and this may apply to you, came from a family system where secrets were a way of life. And I don't mean any disrespect to your family system, but secrets are unhealthy, and we're not going to have them here. And I'm not going to have them in my life. And if you want to be a healthy person, you will find your way to living a life without secrets too. When I first started studying this, I spent a year studying family systems, and secrets were an important part of this. Part of my assignment was to sit down with relatives and ask them about our family secrets. So a family can be a church family, can be your nuclear family or your extended family, or can be in your marriage. It's any kind of intimate or close personal relationship. So I sat down with my grandmother, who was alive at that time, and I had my mom and one of her sisters and her brother. And we were all sitting down, and I asked my grandmother to tell me the family secrets. And she was at an age where I guess she was ready to just dump the truck. And she told us all kinds of things that my mom and her siblings never knew, some of which were earth-shattering family secrets. And they were, I thought at one point, I thought my mom was going to throw up. This was all shocking information for them. And what it did was it allowed them to process, and it allowed them to understand some things in the family that they had never grasped, and they always knew there was something there. They just didn't know what it was. So I strongly encourage you. I just can't encourage you enough. Most people, in the name of protecting our relationship, I'm not going to tell you. But what you're really doing is, A, you're prolonging the inevitable, but B, you're not really protecting the relationship, because the relationship is never going to be what it should be, what it can be, because there's something between you. There's a secret. And usually the other person knows that something's not right, even if they don't know what it is. So a few years ago, I taught on this, and when I taught on it, some people took me up on the offer, and they shared their secret. In some cases, they were big deal kinds of secrets, and it was traumatic. But on the other side of it was beauty. Now, there's a risk. There's a risk that when you share a secret, particularly if it's really not good and hurtful, is that the other person will not receive it well. But at the end of the day, the anxiety can be released, and you can find life. Your relationship can find life, and you can find a new day and usually an area in your marriage or your relationship that you never experienced before, because finally the secret lost its power. Now, there are examples of this all over the Bible, and one of them is in Genesis 27, where Isaac is the dad, and he's got these two sons, Jacob and Esau, and Jacob lies to his dad, pretends to be his brother, and it creates a mess. But the real secret is in the mother, Rebekah, who sort of manipulates this whole thing, and as far as I can tell, she never gets exposed. In other words, the secret of her helping her son Jacob is kept. That creates a family tension that continues for generations. Really, the secret binds anxiety in family systems. It happens again when Joseph's brothers, this is towards the end of Genesis, when Joseph's brothers sell him and tell their father that he'd been eaten by a wild animal. Their brothers had a secret. They knew something happened, and they held it from their father. And this creates a family tension that lives on in hurtful ways for their dad, for them, for their brother Joseph. It's a mess. Secrets create a mess that doesn't have to be created. The original sin can be dealt with, and the sooner you do it, the better. So let me encourage you, if you're in a group right now, to talk about this. And there's one tool that I use a lot that I encourage you to use, both in your marriage and in your other significant relationships in your small group, and it's the idea of withhold. If you've been around, you've heard me talk about this before, but I'm going to share it with you one more time. The idea of withhold is, I would ask the question, do you have any withholds? I often ask this of Susan, and she asks it of me. Do you have any withholds? A withhold is something that I need to know or you need to say. And it is a mechanism that helps ensure that we don't have any secrets. So I can answer, if you ask me, do you have any withholds, I can answer it in one of three ways. I can say, yes, I have a withhold, and here it is. Remember, a withhold is anything you need to know or I need to say. So yes, I have a withhold, here it is. And it can be something that you did that that's a secret, by the way. If you did something that hurt me and I don't tell you, then that's a secret. Or it could be something that I did that I just don't want to tell you about. But anyway, so yes, I have a withhold, here it is. I can say, no, I don't have any withholds. Or I can say, I have a withhold, but I don't want to talk about it right now. But those are my only three options in a one-on-one conversation. And I have to tell the truth. That's the pact that we make. So what I cannot do is lie. I cannot say, no, I don't have any withholds, but I do have a withhold. That would be a breach of integrity in our relationship. So let me encourage you to practice that as a mechanism. Let me also encourage you, if you have a secret that you need to get out, to get a third party, particularly if you think this is going to be a big deal. Get a third party, bring them alongside you and say, I need to tell you something, and I'm asking you in advance to hold me accountable. This secret needs to come out, and I don't know how to do it. I've had this conversation with people many times where they've come to me and said, I've got a secret. I've got to get it out. I don't know how to do it, and I'm asking you to hold me accountable. When they ask me to hold me accountable, I will respond with a question, and I'll say, are you sure? Are you sure you want me to help make sure you get this secret out? And they say, if they say yes, then this is what I do. I say, okay, we make a plan. And then I say, now, if you don't execute the plan, you've asked me to make sure that you're accountable. If you don't execute the plan, then I will help you execute the plan. In other words, I'm going to make the phone call, and we're going to sit down together, and I'm going to make sure it happens. You've asked me to hold you accountable, and if that's what you want, I will. So let me just encourage you, if you have a secret that needs to be told, bring in a third party to help you if it's a big deal, if you think it's not going to go well. But in any event, secrets bind anxiety in relationships, in marriages, and in family systems, and you need to get the secret out. The power of the secret is never in the content of the secret. It's always in the fact that we have one. And your relationship cannot get better, can never achieve its full potential, as long as there's something between you that is a secret. So, I know this is hard. I hope that you both live into the dispelling of all your secrets, and I hope that you put these mechanisms in your life, because one thing I don't have to do, I don't have to look over my shoulder. I make plenty of mistakes, but what I don't have is a bunch of cover-up in my life. There's nothing to discover. The people that are important to me know. I've told them what they need to know. I don't have any secrets. And man, it's very freeing, super freeing. And it can be for you too. I hope that you'll do that. I hope that you discuss this well, and in the days to come, you find that freedom too. Come back next Sunday. We're going to talk about a super important topic, a little lighter, but still really important. And I hope you bring somebody with you, and we'll see you then.